Okay, so here's where we're at. I got this piece cut, and this is all rotten in here, so I'm gonna wash that out. I'm gonna use the power washer with a medium nozzle just to get this rot out of here. I don't want to use it on the whole thing because it may destroy it. So, but to get some of this knot and rot out. And then these are going to be filled. That's just all popping out. These are going to be filled. I'm going to try to fill them anyway with a colored epoxy. I'll get a clear epoxy and I'll add color to it. Maybe marbleize it a little bit. I don't know. And I'm going to fill in all these. Now this is a little weak, but once this is all filled in, that'll be fine. And then there's this one. So I still don't know which one I want to use. And there's this one I have to do with. Once I get them cleaned up and epoxy in them, I'll find out. And then do I want to use it with this on here or take that off? Because that's part of that. I kind of like it. It actually even looks like a little Mickey Mouse, doesn't it? The two ears, the cheek. And then there's this one that I cut. So I have a couple of them here, and I still have some more cuts to do. So I may do a couple more cuts just to see how they turn out. But for the most part, that's where we're at so far. So I'm just going to let these sit out here and dry for a few days because we got some miserable weather coming. So I'm just going to let that happen. And we'll see what goes on. Now, meanwhile, the saw with the new chain and the new bar is cutting perfect. So I'm going to try to find some more pieces that I may or may not want to use. Now that I got a good bar on there and everything, and a good new chain, before I start actually cutting up the wood. So, because once I start cutting into that, I'm going to use old stuff because there's a lot of sand in there, and the sand will kill the blade or the chain. So I'll put the old chain back on. Well, when I say old, ones that I've sharpened. And we'll take it from there. But, and as I cut, if I see something, I'll kind of save it as well. So we'll see what happens. I just seen a piece right there I like. Whoa. Wait a minute. What kind of character do we have here? Well, that may save me from drilling a hole. If I can get it out. Maybe not. But there's a hole in it. So, but I got some 12 and 14 inch drill bits, 7/16, quarter inch, half inch. So actually cutting a hole or drilling a hole isn't going to be a problem. It's just time. It's just going to take time because it's a bad season. I got to wait for everything to dry out so I can see what the hell I have. That's just a good solid piece of wood. Ah. Now here's something. See all these here? If I cut this right in half and get half of all these, that'll be a nice base as well. Ed, you see what you got me into? This is all your fault. The next thing you're going to see me at the town green, selling these things at the town fair. So, alright, other than that, that's about it. You know, many years ago, talking about that, I ended up, I don't remember how I found them, but I ended up meeting this guy that used to do lamps, and he used to do the fiberglass globes. Now, back then, there was those globes that they looked like string plastic, you know, and they were round, and they would hang them. And there was a place in West Haven where they used to make them. And the guy that used to work at night also lived there at night as the security guy as well as a part-time worker and a member of the family that owned it. So it was like a good for him, and he had a free place to live, and they had security, and if they had small jobs, he'd do those and make extra money. So it was a win-win for him. Anyway, I met him and I forgot how, and he said, come on over some night, I'll show you how they make them. Well, they would take one of those rubber balls that you'd see in the playgrounds, the schoolyard, and they would fill it up with air, and they'd have an extruder. They'd put plastic pellets in the hopper. It would heat up, it would come down through the extruder and drizzle. Now, whatever comes out here would depend on the pipe cap that they cut in. If they cut stars, it would push a long star. If it was a ribbon, it would look like a ribbon, or spaghetti, whatever it was. And then they had a tub of water and the ball. And as the hot plastic came out of the nozzle of this extruder, they would spin the ball half in the water, half out, and that would make the shade. Then they would let the air out of the ball, pull it out, and now you got yourself a globe. Well, I said, wow, that looks like fun. So I started making what I called abstract art. All different colors. I throw things into this machine, different colors, and I worked with a plate in the tub, and I made it so that it was like a statue of some sort. You know, ribbon shape, different. It was just a bunch of abstract things standing up. All different shapes, different colors, different types. And I made about 30 of them over the course of 3 or 4 days. And I took them to the flea market and sold them as abstract art. And I was getting $30 to $35 a piece. That was costing me less than $1 a piece to make. I said, wow. All right. Well, not long after that, they closed the business down, and that was kind of that. So, now I was thinking about possibly trying to make a small version extruder. I think I can do it with a slow turning engine, a hopper, a couple of torches, and a big wood bit, and have it turning inside of a piece of like black pipe. And as it turns, it'll push the melted plastic out. So I may try making one, and I'll give you an idea what I'm talking about. All right, guys.